Well, nothing says Halloween like a good old-fashioned ghost story, and here to give us the scoop on all paranormal and haunted stories and activities from around Vancouver is Will Woods from Forbidden Vancouver. Thanks for being here today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now, let's talk first of all of what you guys do on the tour.
Right, so our Halloween tour, The Lost Souls of Gastown, is a dark theatrical adventure into Vancouver's earliest years on the streets and alleyways of Gastown.
Right.
And it came about in 2012, where I'd originally written a tour that was more conventional, where you go from place to place, telling the telling the dark stories of Vancouver's past. And then I'm of course part history nerd, part actor.
Okay.
I thought, how can I push myself as an actor as far as I can? And that's how The Lost Souls of Gastown came about. And I thought, rather than standing on Water Street saying, hey, the fire came down here faster than a sprinting man, say, I was the man sprinting down Water Street and the fire was licking the skin off my back as I went.
So you're playing the character that
That's
was in
right,
there.
yeah, one of the city's earliest residents, yeah, who sort of weaves these historical events into a narrative.
And you have a great accent, so you're somebody I assume that wasn't born here but is really fascinated with our city's history.
Right, and I get, after every tour, I get people say to me, wow, you've got a good English accent. How long have you been practicing that?
My whole life. My whole life.
Yeah.
Which, it's funny because you think, obviously, England, Europe, a lot of history. Vancouver, maybe not so much, but Gastown, there certainly is a lot of history.
There is, there's a lot of history, and it was a very different place back in the 1880s to how it is today. The city's gone through a huge growth in a relatively short amount of time. And we like to bring people back right into that early history of the 1880s and 1890s and try and give you a real feel for what it was like.
So
let's get to the spooky part.
Yeah, I want to talk about the haunted places.
Yeah.
Right.
Where in Vancouver do you truly think might be haunted or some paranormal activity happening?
I think the place you're probably is the best candidate, and you're sitting very near. We're sitting very near it right now. Is Dead Man's Island, which is just over there. You can see it actually, and it's a naval base today, as you'll know, just off Stanley Park. And it was the city's first cemetery before.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Really?
That's right. And when we had smallpox here in 1893, which would not have been a very pleasant time to live through, if you caught smallpox, they'd put a piece of yellow cloth on your house, and a guy with a wagon would come round ringing a bell. They'd put you on the wagon, and he'd eventually canoe you out to Dead Man's Island, to the pest house. And if you survived, you came back, and if you died, well, you were
very Monty Python, bring out your dead, right?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about. There's a shop in Gastown, Salmagundi West.
Salmagundi West, that's right. Yeah.
There's some weird stuff happening there.
Very strange. So the owner, Anne, I've come to know over the years through doing tours through the area, and she started sharing with me some of the stories they have there, and very strange occurrences. Stories of these. It's full of various objects and ephemera they stock in the store, in cabinets in some cases, and glass cabinet doors firing open, being hit in the face with blasts of cold, damp air. She told me a story of a brass kettle that unscrewed itself from a fixture above her head in the middle of the day, fell down inches from where she was standing. Wow. She said it wasn't that the fixture came undone, the handle on the kettle literally unscrewed itself.
Wow,
which is very odd.
When you're doing these tours and you're in these places, do you feel that? Do you believe in it?
Well, this time of year there is a chill in the air. Going through there in Halloween season, in October, when it's dark and you can see your breath in the air, and you just have to go one building off Water Street into one of those alleyways down by the railroad tracks. Yeah, it is like you could hear a pin drop back there. It's really dark. Yeah.
So if I'm scared, do you have people that are like, what time are the tours? It's dark outside, right?
We always do them at night, and they're not. We don't do the cheap scares. We don't do the jumping out, boo, that stuff.
Right.
So it is more.
It's about the actual history of the city. That's at the core of the experience of what really happened here.
Such a great idea and tons of fun, and I'm feeling a little scared. I think I'm gonna stick to the main streets, street lights, things like that. Yeah, we appreciate you being here.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it
so much. Yeah, so you don't have to go to that typical haunted house.
Yeah.
You can go learn a bit about a history of Vancouver and maybe see a ghost or two.
Who knows?
If you want to learn more about Forbidden Vancouver, you can check it out for yourself by visiting forbiddenvancouver.ca.